That's Money Brown, man. Mr. Junior. Boy, Money Brown, he get a lot of money, so I call him Money Brown.
What's good, Money Brown TV? What up, what up?
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Money Brown TV. Thank you so much for everything.
Hey, this is Ryan Garcia here. Shout out to Money Brown TV. And keep punching, baby.
Yo, what's going on out there, fight world? It's your boy Money back with another one, man. And this one here is on the hottest fighter on the planet, Canelo Alvarez, the 4-division world champion, the unified super middleweight world champion, looking to be the first undisputed super middleweight world champion this Saturday when he take on Caden Plant. And we got Malignaggi, the former 2-division world champion, who talked a whole lot of shit about Canelo, right? Talked a whole lot of shit about Canelo and the cheating and all that shit, you know. But now he finally come to a senses and he understand, don't never play with Canelo in your life. You feel me? Ever play with Canelo in your life. Now, Malignaggi, like I said, 2-division world champion. He was a champion at 140. He was a champion at 147. You understand what I'm saying? For somebody of his stature, you know, when you look at Paulie, he's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. You know, he was a good boxer. And, you know, he became a 2-division world champion. You know what I'm saying? A 2-division world champion. And you got to respect any man that put on the gloves that become a world champion. And I will give him credit. He is a good analysis when he talk boxing. He know the boxing game. You know, I can't take that away from him. This was his profession. And he fought some of the greats. You know what I mean? Miguel Cotto, Zab Judah, Sean Porter. Paulie fought a lot of good fighters. Adrian Bronner, things of that nature. But Paulie has always disrespected Canelo Alvarez. Always. You dig? And I used to get on his ass for that type of shit. I used to get on everybody else who hate on Earl Spence and Canelo Alvarez. But mainly Paulie, I used to get on his ass because he always shit on Canelo hard work. And he always tried to make it as if he was a cheater. Even back then, you know, when the shit happened with Canelo in a smaller amount of clenbuterol, you know, I got it on my Instagram where I got on Paulie ass. You know, we all know the situation happened over in Mexico, right? Where he was tested over in Mexico and they end up finding a small trace of clenbuterol, right? And when we all look at the situation, it came from the fucking meat over in Mexico. When Canelo got tested, he was in Mexico. I mean, it all makes sense, bro. It all adds up to the fucking tainted meat in Mexico. But people refuse to look at that. They refuse to look at it. And they try to shit on Canelo Alvarez and make it as if he was just being a fucking cheater. You understand? Which was pure bullshit. Pure bullshit. Canelo has always been a clean fighter. He is a clean fighter. And that's a fact. But I want y'all to listen to what Paulie had to say back then. And I'm going to come back with the great assessment family. Something a little different. Y'all listen to Paulie.
I'm not going to get into it, man. Please. This is fucking joke. Yeah. Come on. You know what you do? I tell you what you do. You got to give... Listen, if you give a 6-month suspension, okay, with no fine and no consistent drug testing after that, what's the fucking point? The guy can just go home right now and dope. He could be doping up right now for all we know. He's suspended. He's not getting tested. He's not doing anything. Okay? The way you handle that, if you want to give a 6-month suspension and let it play out, you fine him. You give a 6-month suspension, and then you put him on a 2-year probationary period where he's consistently and strongly random drug tested throughout the next 2 years. And if he fails any of those tests in the next 2 years, you add 2 or 3 years to that suspension. So then it becomes a 2.5-year suspension. But you know why they won't do that? Because they don't want to actually catch Canelo's cheating. Because if, God forbid, you catch this guy cheating again and you got to spend him for 2-3 years, then you all lose money and it's a big problem. So nobody actually wants to fix
testing in Mexico.
Yes, that would be. That's why he mistimed the cycle.
Surprise!
He mistimed the cycle. He didn't expect them to show up in Mexico. You know what I mean? He didn't expect them to come and show up in Mexico. So he thought like, okay, I'm gonna get to Vegas. By this point, it's gonna clear my system. Nah, my man, we came and surprised you. But I'll tell you what, that's about the time you start testing for a May 5th fight. Is early September, early February, right? So this guy was doing it during his time off, which is the problem in general for if you don't have year-round random drug testing. These guys are gonna do it during their time off consistently. So part of this suspension problem should be 6 months suspension, 2-year probationary period where you're drug tested all the time, consistently, randomly, consistently for the next 2 years. And if you fail that one, you get a 2-year suspension. They're not going to do it, though. They don't have the balls to do that. You need balls to do that.
Y'all see, man, Paulie run his mouth a lot. Talk too much. You feel me? When he don't have fucking proof. He don't have no evidence of shit. He never even, you know, tried to look into it. But the first thing he do is accuse of cycling. You feel me? And another thing, he's a fucking ass kisser. and he tried to kiss Leonard Ellaby ass, and he was kissing Floyd Money Mayweather ass, so he trying to shit on Canelo Alvarez. That's the reason why Paulie was talking all that silly, stupid ass shit, right? He always shit on Manny Pacquiao as well. He say Manny Pacquiao's a cheater as well. Manny Pacquiao never been caught. No matter what you think, it doesn't matter if you feel like a motherfucker was cheating. It doesn't matter if you want to say, well, he went up this many weight classes, he did this. You have no fucking proof that that man cheated. I don't give a fuck how long you been in the fight game. If a man never was caught for anything, you can't say he's a cheater. Now, y'all gonna say, well, Canelo was caught. He was suspended for 6 months. And that's what Paulie was alluding to. He was suspended for 6 months with no fine because they were doing an investigation on what was going on with Canelo Alvarez. Could it have been a meat? Could it have not been a meat? Once they found out that it was the meat, and once they took his hair follicles and cleared his fucking name, I want y'all to listen to me. Once they found out that it was the meat and they took the hair follicles and cleared his name, they owed Canelo an apology. They owed him an apology because he was fined for no fucking reason because he did nothing wrong, right? But nobody will come out and say those truth. They won't speak that type of truth. They won't speak that type of truth. So Paluie Malignaggi only said that shit to try to shit on Canelo Alvarez because he hates anybody that has a better career than him, in my opinion, that becomes a superstar. You feel me? I'm not just gonna say he hate. I ain't gonna use the word hate. But he dislike. He dislike. Especially when you somebody like a Canelo or a Manny Pacquiao from foreign soil, right? So they had a little back and forth and shit, and people look at this and want to make it as if, oh, you know, Canelo and Paulie, you know, they mended the beef that they had between them. Fuck no, ain't no mending it. Ain't no mending. When you come out and you bash my name and you trash my name and you make me look like a cheater, the only way we can get past this and have a neutral respect, because we'll never be friends. Never, ever be motherfucking friends. But the only way we can come out and have a neutral respect for one another, for when I see you like Canelo dap them up, is if you go right back in front of those motherfucking cameras and you denounce every fucking silly ass word that you said about me. Every silly fucking word that you said about me. If you denounce those words and say you was wrong, then I can have a mutual respect for you, right? But other than that, I don't want nothing to do with you. You feel me? Now, the difference is, Paluie Malignaggi was right there. He had the microphone in his hand. He asked Canelo a question. Canelo, being a cool, calm, collective cat that he is, knowing that he's a clean fighter, he had no problem answering. He had no problem answering. I got no problem with dapping you up, right? You pat me on my back, dap you up a couple times. I'm cool with that. Like I said, it's okay to forgive, but you never forget. It's okay to forgive, but you never forget. But you saw the fucking energy of Paluie Malignaggi when he was in front of Canelo Alvarez. You saw the energy. You didn't see no bullshit coming from him. You didn't see a man that didn't want to stand right there and interview Canelo because you feel like he's a drug cheat, right? You saw a motherfucker right there with respect for him, right? Cool, calm, and collective. Knowing you better not say the wrong, stupid ass shit. You did? Because you know it can go down in this bitch. And I ain't saying I want nothing to happen to the man or Canelo to fire off on his ass and fuck up the fight or nothing like that. I'm just saying, once you say the bullshit that Paulie been saying for years, and I follow Paluie Malignaggi's career, I know the people he shit on and the people he don't shit on. I know his mentality. I know when he want to turn up and go crazy on people. And I knew when he was in front of that camera in front of Leonard Ellaby that he was showing off. He was showing off. You feel me? He wanted to impress Leonard Ellaby because Leonard Ellaby is Floyd Money Mayweather man's. And, you know, over here in America, American boxers, they all look up to Floyd Money Mayweather. Rightfully so, because of what he's done in the game. He revolutionized the game. You got to give him that credit. But to see him in front of Canelo Alvarez and to see him have a different type of energy than he was having over the years, talking all that bullshit, right? It just makes me wonder sometimes. It makes me wonder. You did? It shows some jealousy there. You know what I'm saying? It showed that it was some jealousy there. But at the end of the day, they can't stop greatness. No matter how y'all want to try to slice it and dice it, put it into this form or that form, you can't stop greatness. That's why Canelo is on top right now. That's why Canelo never worried about nothing happening after that clenbuterol bullshit, because he knew he was a clean fighter. You feel me? He knew he was a clean fighter. He know he don't have to cheat to get ahead because he put the hard fucking work in, day in and day out. And people see him in a fucking gym, day in and day out, perfecting his craft, putting in the hard work, giving advice to the young fighters that's up and coming, giving advice to the older fighters. You understand what I'm saying? So when I look at this situation, all I'm going to say is Paluie Malignaggi, keep that same motherfucking energy, or I want to see you go in front of them cameras and denounce every word that you said about Canelo Alvarez being a drug cheat. Because you was wrong, just like every other motherfucker else is wrong that's running around here talking about that man is a cheater. When he's not. He's not. You know what I'm saying? They came to Mexico and tested him. They came to Mexico and tested him. So that should let y'all know it's a possibility. Even if you don't believe that it's a possibility that he could have ate a tainted meat and had a little fucked up clenbuterol in his system, enough not to help a fucking ant. Wasn't even enough in his fucking system to do nothing with. You understand? Look how good he just looked at the weigh-in. They can need clenbuterol, man, when that man put in the work to look like that. Like, cut it out, bro. Cut it out. I do feel like Paluie is jealous of a few fighters out there, especially one named Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? Who's a bad motherfucker and running the game. You feel me? Oh, yeah, that would have fucked Malignaggi up if he ever got an opportunity to share the ring with him, which we know it wouldn't have happened. But he would have fucked Paluie up. Look at his face. Paluie, all Paluie did was get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Credit, like I say, he was a 2-division world champion. It's a lot of fights that'll never be a world champion. But when he stepped up to them big guys, they fucked them up. You feel me? Stop hating on Canelo, man. Y'all learn to respect. And I think over the years, maybe that boy learned to respect Canelo Alvarez and see that he's a bad motherfucker. See that he never tested positive for nothing else. And it shows that, you know what? Canelo is a clean fighter. And what we were saying was bullshit. Period. Straight bullshit. So Paluie opened up his mouth just like all the other haters opened up their mouth, right? With no clear proof, right? And when the facts hit the table, Canelo was a clean fighter. The hair follicles proved it all. The hair follicles proved it all. And I don't give a fuck what nobody else got to say. Canelo's clean. He always been clean. He's running the game. He will fuck Caden playing up on Saturday, become the new undisputed super middleweight world champion. And everybody that don't like him and dislike him, haters, naysayers, and critics, y'all will eat y'all fucking words. And us, the Canelo fans, the Mexican people, Mexico, everybody will celebrate. We will celebrate and we will wait for Canelo's next move. But first thing first, Saturday is tomorrow, and we will bask in the glory of Canelo Alvarez beating the shit out of Caden Plant. Paluie Malignaggi, keep that same energy or keep your motherfucking mouth shut. Denounce all that bullshit you said about Canelo Alvarez, and then I have a little newfound respect for you. If not, then it's fuck you too. Shouts out to Canelo. God, do your thing, King. Until then, this your boy Money's, the NSBC movie. Ain't nobody safe in these streets. Hit them thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to donate. OG Money on Cash App. TreyHumpton52@gmail.com on PayPal. If not, just tell a friend, hit the subscribe button. Like, comment, share the videos. And y'all know how your boy get down, man. Big dog status, family.